Joining us now, CNN contributor and former Nixon White House counsel John Dean. He is the subject and a key part of the CNN original series Watergate: Blueprint for Scandal. John, you're the perfect person to talk to today. Thank you so much for joining us. Just curious to know what you thought about Thursday and how effective Liz Cheney and the panel was in opening the case to the American public.
I thought it was very effective. To flash back to Watergate 50 years ago, they started very slow. They had low-level staffers, and it was so boring that the networks that were covering it, all three of them at that time, threatened to pull back. And they actually did go to a one rotating camera out of the, taking the pool camera, and each network rotating around after that. So that didn't happen here. This was very intense. It was very well produced. It was very informative. And I think that continues to be the pattern. The committee's going to help Americans understand what's going on much better than we do right now, have previously understood.
Yeah, so this January 6th hearing, you're saying much more riveting than the way the Watergate hearings were held. But it was your testimony about Richard Nixon's involvement in the Watergate break-in and the cover-up that really turned the tide in those hearings. Do you think that there is a potential John Dean whistleblower or whistleblowers in the Trump administration that could have a similar impact?
Well, I know a number of people I know have made public statements and had different candidates. It's a rough road to hoe. I don't know if any of the lawyers who were involved in the Trump White House and know exactly what was going on are going to step forward. I think they should. There is something called a fraud crime exception that lawyers do not privilege information when they're engaged in a crime fraud situation. So I think there is some of that, and I wish some of those lawyers would step up and account for themselves.
You know, obviously the shorthand for, what happened is January 6th, right? The term Watergate is thrown around a lot too, without a lot of people understanding the significance of what happened with Watergate and with January 6th. Do you think that the public recognition of the significance of what happened on January 6th is being recognized as a result of these public hearings?
I think it is. You're right. We do use these shorthand labels and think that's one event is all that we're talking about. That wasn't true in Watergate. It isn't true with the January 6th proceeding. There were events that preceded January 6th and the insurrection, months and months of proceedings and events that went on. And there have been events that followed it. So I think this committee will draw that out. It's got the label of the January 6th TAC committee, but it's looking at much more information because much more is involved. And it's just sort of culminated, and that marked the event permanently, as did the bungled break-in at the Watergate.
Mm-hmm. And in many aspects, the Watergate hearings and the investigation were a success in the fact that, you had a president who resigned and, some people like yourself served time in prison for that. What would success look like to you when it comes to this deadly insurrection on our Capitol?
Well, I think all the people involved in Watergate really were held accountable to the degree that they did owe accounting. And I think the same should happen here. And this looks like it comes down, as did Watergate, right from the top. It wouldn't have happened but for Donald Trump. Watergate wouldn't have happened but for Richard Nixon. They're very different, though. And this is much more serious. As I tweeted yesterday, nobody died at Watergate. Nobody was beaten at Watergate during that scandal. We've got much more serious situation here where people died, people were beaten, democracy was challenged like it's never been, and showed, it has weaknesses, it is fragile, and we must correct those weaknesses. So we're dealing with a exponentially much more dangerous situation today, 50 years after Watergate, than we were.
Yeah, and this threat to democracy could happen again if people are not held accountable and changes are not made. John Dean, appreciate you joining us. Thank you for the conversation.